Bonjour à tous! Hello everyone, today we're going to be doing another French lesson. Today we're going to learn about the present tense. We're going to learn about regular, ER, IR and RE verbs. Okay, so the first set of verbs we're going to have a look at are the regular ER verbs. The verb I've chosen to use in this case is the verb here, passer. This means to spend. For example, in English you would say, have a nice weekend. In French, you'd say, spend a nice weekend. Passez un bon weekend. First of all, we're going to have a look at the left-hand side. We're going to look at the endings of the verbs. Okay, so if we go along now, we have I, and we have the stem. This stem here comes from the infinitive. For all regular verbs, to get the stem, you take the infinitive, which is this word here, and you take off the ending, which is ER, because we're looking at ER verbs. That leaves us with a stem, PASS. This is used in all of the subject pronouns. Note that this is only for the regular verbs and doesn't always work for all the irregular verbs. So looking back at I, the ending for this is simply just an E. Je passe. Note that this E isn't said. For you, the ending is ES. This is said the same way. Tu passes. Then we have he. The ending for this is just an E. Je passe. Tu passes, il passe. Note that none of these endings are spoken. Then, for she, we also add an E. And for one, it is also an E. Je passe, tu passes, il passe, elle passe, on passe. Okay? One thing to also note is that usually when written, these three here are grouped together, il, elle and on. You may have learnt that from last lesson. They're grouped together because they always have the same ending. That is the reason why je passe isn't grouped with il, elle and on. Now going over to this side of the board, this is where it gets a bit more complicated. For the present tense, for nous, we have passe, on, ONS. So we have nous passons. Next, we have you. The ending for this is EZ. Vous passez. Then we have they. They pass. ENT. Il passe. Note that the S of they isn't said and the ending of they isn't said. Il passe. It sounds like this over here. Il passe. Finally we have they, the feminine version. The ending is also the same here. Usually these two are grouped together as they have the same ending. Now we have nous passons, vous passez, il passe, elle passe. That is all the endings for the regular ER verbs. Je passe, tu passes, il passe, elle passe, on passe, nous passons, vous passez, il passe, elle passe. For all regular verbs, these are always the endings. E, ES, E, ONS, EZ, ENT. Next, we look at regular IR verbs and how they are conjugated. The verb in this case I've chosen to use is choisir. This means to choose or to select. This here is the infinitive. This here is the stem of choisir. as you can see, the IR has been taken off and you are left with CHOIS, which is the stem which is used. So, the ending for I is IS. Je choisis. Notice the S isn't said. Je choisis. Next we have you. The ending is also IS. Tu choisis. It is also not said. Il, elle, on choisit. Sounds the same, but it's IT rather than IS. The T isn't pronounced. Il choisit, elle choisit, on choisit. Next we go to this side of the board. For we, the ending is more complex, and for all of these, the ending is ISSONS. This says, nous choisissons. So if I break this down for you, nous choisissons. Nous choisissons. Nous choisissons. Next, we have vous. It is similar. The ending is I, S, S, E, Z. Nous choisissez. Nous choisissez. Finally, we have they. The ending is similar as well. ISSENT. So, this is pronounced il choisit. Okay? So, if I break this one down, it's nous choisissons. Vous choisissez. Il choisit. Notice the ENT isn't pronounced. Choisis. This is also the same for they. Elles choisissent. If I go down them all again, this is how they're pronounced. Je choisis. Tu choisis. Il, elle, on choisit. Nous choisissons. Vous choisissez. Il choisit. Elles choisissent. Remember, this is the verb, this is the stem. Don't worry if you're getting stuck. Carry on watching the video until the end, and I'll go over a few points to help you. Finally, we'll move on to regular RE verbs. The verb used in this instance is vendre. This verb means to sell. Notice the RE section. When this is taken off, we're left with VEND. This is known as the stem, just like before. VEND for all of the subject pronouns, okay? Starting at I again, the ending for RE verbs, for I in the present tense, is S. Je vends. Notice that the D isn't overly pronounced. Je vends. Je vends. For you, the ending is also an S. Tu vendes. Tu vendes. Il, elle, on, the ending is nothing. It remains as the stem. Ils vendent. Elles vendent. On vend. Notice these three sound all the same. Next we go to this side. The ending for we is ONS. Nous vendons. Notice this is the same as ER verbs. Next we have vous. Vous vendez. EZ. Nous vendons. Vous vendez. Finally, for they, the ending is ENT. When this is said, the ENT isn't pronounced, but makes the D sound more pronounced. Ils vendent. Ils vendent. Elles vendent. Notice these three endings for nous, vous, il are all the same as the ER verbs. Let's go through pronunciation again. Je vende. Tu vendes. Il, elle, on vendent. Nous vendons. Vous vendez. Il, elle vendent. Je vends. Ils vendent. Okay, so now we'll go over some words. The word infinitive here means the raw, unchanged version of the verb. For example, finir, which means to finish. Usually, in French, the infinitive means to something in English. For example, to do, faire, to go, aller, and so on, so forth. Next, we have stem. This is the form of the verb without any additions after removing the ending from the infinitive. For example, fin. This doesn't actually mean anything. You need something extra to go on to it. Finally, we have ending. This is anything added to the stem of the verb. For example, when the verb is conjugated, this is what it will look like, moving from the fin to the fin-it. As you can see, the ending here is the it. Finally, we have the word conjugate, which to me means a lot in language because it helps you to explain things. The word conjugate means to inflect its form for distinction, such as number, person, voice, mood, and tense. Right, that might sound really complicated, but it isn't really. We have the infinitive form of to finish, finir. We take away the ending, the ir, to get the stem. Then all we do is add on any ending to match what we want, which is finissez. This is the present form of to finish, and for you. So it goes to vous finissez. So remember, all we've added on is the you, the polite version, and in the present tense. Finissez is you in the present tense. So vous finissez is exactly that, meaning you finish. Okay, so now here's a challenge. All you need to do is conjugate the verb jouer, which means to play, into the present you version form of it. I'm going to give you 10 seconds. Are you done? Okay, let's go through it. The first thing you need to do is find the stem. The way you do this is you take off the ending E and R. This leaves us with JOU. This is the stem of jouer. Now we need to add the ending on. Since this is an ER verb, we need to add on the correct ending. If you remember from earlier, we need to add on the U version of the ER verb. That is EZ. Now we have vous jouez. That is the conjugation of the verb from jouer to jouer. Joueur de jouer. Okay, so finally we have the verb réussir. This means to succeed. I want you to conjugate the verb into the present they form of the verb. I'm going to give you 10 seconds again. Are you done? Okay, we'll go through it now. Just like before, you need to take off the ending IR. This gives you the stem REUSS. Now, we need to add on the ending. Since it is an IR verb, we need to add on the IR ending for A. ISSENT. This word may look really complex, but it's not. We've now conjugated the verb. This is said, il réussit. Il réussit. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've learned something new. Subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this and continue learning more French. Goodbye.